Hello guys and welcome back. So let's look at creating the smoke sim now that we're going to use for the to drive the particle motion. And I have these curves here and I use them to be the source for the particle sim. So let's use up until here, I think. Yeah, this is good. So I'm going to create a null. And I'm going to call this out curves, do an object merge, and drag this, and then I can use this somewhere or in a different graph to keep things clean. But for now I'm going to leave everything at the same level. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a smoke sim source from this guy, and what I'm going to use in this case is a node in Houdini called fluid source, and this is a built-in node that takes in any geometry and uses it to create a volume source. And in this case it's creating a density field and a velocity and everything we need. If we go under container settings, we have to make sure that it's set to source smoke to make sure that all the settings are correct. You can see that it also samples the velocity from the input geometry. If we go to the first tab here, it's creating temperature, the density field as well as temperature. We don't need the temperature at the moment. And then the velocity, it's sampling the velocity the vector called v. We can add some noise here to break this up, to break the sourcing a bit more. Maybe something like this. Yep. And let's hide the streamers so we can check this off. And now let's play through. Cool. So we have some curves and they're rotating, and we can use them to start our sim. Now inside this part here, there is this SDF from geometry, or SDF, yeah, SDF from geometry. We can change this value, the out feather, to make it bigger, because right now it's taking those points and sampling them, and we can give it a bigger radius so it generates a thicker volume. And again, we're not gonna be using this 100% as a source or anything like that. It's gonna be more of a driver. So the particle source, we can keep that to be the same, which is this guy here that we did last week. And then we're going to use this new sim to drive the motion of the sim. Okay, so let's create a dot network. And it's called, I'm going to lower the settings of the density so it's faster. And I'm also going to resample these curves so we have more points to work with. I'm going to add a resample node. And the more points we have, the more the accurate the volume is going to be. Let's call this smoke out portal smoke src for source. And let's create an object merge and just drag this to get the path. Okay. And let's call this portal smoke sim. Cool. So let's create a smoke solver, smoke object of volume, source volume, and let's make sure the source volume is set to source smoke. I'm gonna paste that path, connect this to this last input and this to this first input, and let's increase the size. Okay, let's add a gas resize dynamic to make sure that it stretches, it updates accordingly. I'm gonna give it a delay of 1 frame, and let's hit play. Okay, so under the resize, I'm gonna turn off clamp to maximum, and let's go back up and add a scatter node, scatter some points, and make sure we're only scattering them on the velocity vector, on the density field. So add name equal density to remove everything except the density field. Cool. Let's go here. Sorry. Yes, yeah. So we have that, and then I'm gonna create a bound node, and I'm gonna add 0.2 on all axes, just to add a little bit of padding. And then here output smoke, portal smoke bound. Let's give this a red color. Let's delete this. And here I'm gonna copy the path under bound, track by object, and this is going to be bound, and it auto completes for us. So now we're gonna be 100% sure that it's gonna expand correctly. So those are the first frame, and then it's gonna start swirling. And I'm gonna add a ground to have it collide with this, as well as the particle sim, because otherwise it's gonna keep going down. So let's see if we did that already in the pop sim. I don't remember if we had a ground or not. No, we don't. So let's create one, and then we can copy it and use it with the smoke sim. Okay. Okay, let's move it down so it's below the circle. Something like that. Let's increase it to 100 by 200. Cool. Copy the node. And let's go here. Paste this. Play. And you can see the velocity is being inherited now, and we should get smoke collision and everything working properly. Alright, let's do a few tweaks to this. So let's increase the velocity to 3, and let's add obviously some turbulence to this. As turbulence, I'm gonna copy it a few times. I want to add 3 and gas vortex confinement. And this set to 1, set to 2 the size, set this to 4, and this to 0.4. I just want to layer them a bit, that's all. And this was set to 4. And the density, I'm gonna actually increase the density a bit. Let's go back up and increase the cache size to 20. Let's hit play. All right. This is our smoke sim, and obviously we can always spend time on this and tweak it, but for now I'm going to save it to disk, and then we're going to use it to drive the other sim. Now here, see, there's it's getting truncated because the smoke is moving too fast. I'm going to lower the velocity to 2, and also under the this node, you see this subtract threshold? It takes the density field and subtracts 0.2 from it. So if there is any super transparent density, it kills them, it removes them. I'm going to lower this to 0.05. I'm going to increase the padding to 2, so we have more room and it doesn't truncate those areas. So let's do an import field, dop import fields. Drag this guy here, drag this guy here, and let's copy this name, and we're gonna source smoke. So remember in this example we did the advection and we needed the velocity field. We also need that. we need to import that information to be able to eject the particles with this, with whatever sim we have. So let's output this guy, and I'm gonna write it to $job/cache sim week 3 smoke portal fx driver. You guys definitely use better namings than what I'm doing here. So let's cache 120 frames. Gonna hit save. It's caching, and we'll continue in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.